today might not be all sunshine and rainbows outside, but it is inside with my first guest. New Day friend and host of Art Zone, Nancy Guppy, always has her finger on the pulse of Western Washington with all things arts and entertainment. And she obviously joins me now with the latest and greatest.
Oh, it's so good to see you. And
You're just sunshine in a bottle.
Well, thank you. And I love the open. I love all those great shots of you. God, you look fabulous.
Oh my gosh. Well, you look fabulous. I'm just trying to compete with Nancy Guppy.
You're keeping up, baby.
Okay, I want to talk about everything. We have a lot to go into. So first up is an exhibit in Belltown called Feltscapes. What's this?
So it's at the Labor Temple, which is in the Belltown neighborhood. But before we talk about the exhibit, I want to talk about the Labor Temple because it's an Art Deco building, as you can see. Historic landmark built in 1942. It was for unions representing organized workers. Now, the intent of the building, of course, has changed over the past 83 years, but the building is still intact and it has been beautifully restored. I mean, it's so gorgeous, all the materials, and now has a coffee shop, a salon, a co-working facilities, and for our purposes, a couple of spaces for art shows that only feature local artists. Which brings us to the exhibit. So the exhibit is called Feltscapes Lichens.
Look at that.
I mean, the artist is Flora Carlisle Kovac, and she creates these gorgeous, colorful sculptures and wall hangings out of felt. She makes the felt. Flora is inspired by nature, and she gets a lot of her design ideas from walking through local parks. She loves Lincoln Park over in West Seattle. She also makes wearable art, or purses, hats, scarves, even dresses.
I need that purse.
I mean, you do need that purse. Isn't it beautiful?
My goodness.
So the show's up just for a few more days through March 31st. And by the way, Flora does teach felting classes. So that's kind of fun. So all that information, of course, on the New Day website.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, her stuff is great.
That is amazing. I would love to take a class like that to learn a new skill.
Yeah, I would too. We should do it.
Okay.
I want to make a plan.
Oh my gosh.
Plan. Yes, plan.
This one has an interesting title, the Moisture Festival.
Yes, okay. So,
what is
the Moisture Festival, so it is a beloved annual event. So that's kind of near when it first started. In 2004. It started out as a 5-day event in Fremont. 21 years later, it's now 3+ weeks at the Broadway Performance Hall. So this festival has something for everyone. There's aerialists, there's magicians, comedians, dance, music, of course, and many acts that defy description. In other words, the weird and the wonderful, like that guy right there, Godfrey, they all have a place at the Moisture Festival. So this year, I think there were over 75 performers, and it is family friendly, except for the performances they're calling Frisky Friday. And that translates into fun, funny, and good burlesque for the adult crowd. A
little spicy.
Okay. but within the bounds, right?
Yeah.
And so the festival is up now, and it's running through Sunday, April 13th.
Amazing.
Yeah,
okay, moving right along. The next one is a classic American play, A Raisin in the Sun.
Yes, so this is classic play. It was by Lorraine Hansberry. It was first produced by Sidney Poitier. On the left there was the beautiful lead role in 1959. And it was turned into a movie in 1961. So the premise is a black family has an opportunity to move from their cramped apartment on the south side of Chicago to an affordable home in a historically white neighborhood.
Okay.
Of course, enter racial intolerance, which threatens to turn their American dream into heartbreak. And although some things, of course, have changed for the better in the ensuing decades, this storyline, sadly, is still relevant today, 60+ years later.
Right.
So it's an important story, and Taproot always does a really, really great job. So it's really worth checking out, and it runs through April 22nd. So a few more weeks.
We have
kind
some
of way
time.
into April. Yeah. We're seeing.
Okay. And now for something totally different. It's a documentary about beer, right?
Yes,
Rainier?
It is. So it's called, there it is, Rainier, a Beer Odyssey. And it is about the local ad agency, I think Heckler Bauker is how you say it maybe. And they created the iconic and hilarious Rainier Beer commercials that aired from the mid-'70s to the late '80s. And I think we're going to maybe see a little bit of it.
Oh, yeah, let's watch.
See some of the trailer there, yeah.
When they gave us these commercials, they were really giving us ourselves.
It's not brain surgery, it's only advertising, but you might as well do it well.
Here we are! Action bottles!
These Rainier ads were such a fabric of the community.
Bottle of beer.
That is so interesting. It's hilarious.
Anyone who lived here during that time, they know these ads. There was the running of the Rainiers, the beer crossing, the Rainier beer cans swimming like orcas, breaching in the Pacific or the Puget Sound, and perhaps the most famous ad of all, which really I thought was one of the best, a guy driving a motorcycle on a country road, and you hear it goes, Rainier.
Okay, I've heard of that. I haven't seen it.
Oh,
but...
yeah, well, it's going to be showing up maybe in this trailer, but certainly in the film. This is like, I cannot wait to see it. It's opening on April 7th at SIF Cinema. Look, that's Mickey Rooney. They got him to be a crazy spokesperson for the beer. So it opens at SIF Cinema in Uptown. And I think before we move on to the last one,
100%.
I wanted to surprise you.
We have to partake, right?
What's better than beer in the morning, right? It is 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
My grandmother always said it's okay to have a drink if it's 11 o'clock. And she wasn't an alcoholic.
Okay.
She was not.
Well, then after 11, I'm going to, cheers to Rainier.
Okay, I will
Rainier
sip
for
it.
life is what it says on there, okay? Mm-hmm.
Tastes just like Rainier beer.
It sure does. So have some Rainier and go see that documentary.
Exactly.
Okay, and lastly, this is a very cool tour. What do we have last?
So I am excited about this, and I have something new to me. It's been going on for a while at the Moore Theater, which is that building at 2nd and Virginia in downtown Seattle. They give behind-the-scenes building tours on the second Saturday of every month. Now, I have not done it yet, so I can't give details, but it's an historic building. It's built 118 years ago. So basically, there's tons of history packed into every crack and crevice. Kind of one of those if these walls could talk kind of places, right?
Seriously.
And did I mention that it's free?
No.
Well, it's free. It is a free thing.
Oh my
gosh. The next one is April 12th, Saturday at 10 a.m. You do have to have a ticket a free ticket to register, which of course is on your guys' website.
Yeah,
so,
because I imagine you can't just all flood and show up. You need to.
They need to have it kind of some control over that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love
so isn't that fun?
Oh my gosh, all of these are so fun, and you always bring such a different mix. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting too, I know Rainier. Right now with the weather kind of being all weird in Seattle, a lot of those get you inside and dry.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Right now, I mean, exactly. Yesterday we had this beautiful day yesterday, right? Well, today I think we're going into some sort of monsoon. I don't know what's going to go on.
That's what I hear.
It is like such an in-between time in Seattle right now, right? The weather is always kooky about this time of year. Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah. Well, we love when you're bringing arts and entertainment, and we can always feel your passion. So thank you so much for bringing all of these fun events.
I'm always happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. I just love you. Okay. And we'll have links, of course, to all of these events on our website, and you can find Art Zone on Seattle Channel 21, as well as streaming, of course.